Hey YouTube, it's me, Gina. I'm back with another one. Here to do a quick story time, trying to be more consistent for my channel and add different content. One of my recent poems that I posted today, A Lake Full of Pain, it was about a previous job that I held prior to this one. I know I really only talk about this one because this is the longest one and probably the most important job that I've held so far since I've gotten out and been working. I've jumped jobs so much because I'm emotional and then quick to react. I don't deal with stress well. You're going to yell at me, you're going to treat me like I'm garbage, then I'm out. You know, money is never going to hold me in one spot forever. So the one before this, it was a small company. It was maybe, I want to say 10 of us on the shift. And so it was real laid back, and it was a Korean ran company, which is a different type of environment altogether. And because it was so small, it gave them the ability to run it in their own type of way. When I got there, just like any job I would ever get, I gave 110. I learned the machines, I learned the processes, I learned the product that ran from start to finish out of their factory. I learned everything I could so I could be the best at what I did. At some point, their management changed or they got new contracts or whatever happened that they called themselves, we're cracking down. And so as they cracked down, they took away headsets. They didn't want us talking to each other on the floor. They wanted us to look in a different direction like it was the military, and it wasn't. And at home, around that time, I was going through some things. My first year of marriage, we went through about 8,000 different type of things, and it was all things that were outside factors that we couldn't control. That it was gonna happen. All we could do was go through it. So I was stressed. I was stressed beyond stress. I get stressed over the simplest of things anyway, but that just pushed it above and beyond. And so that job was my place to go and get away from that, to try to keep my head clear of that. When they took away the headsets and did all that, you know, that made me have to sit within my stress. And so I was really on edge. So any little thing they said would make me cry, would make me sad, whatever. One day I was to the point where I was in tears, bawling, tore up. Me and my female co-worker, we went to lunch. We grabbed something to eat, and I think she stopped by the gas station for something. That gas station happened to sell alcohol and not like big bottles, just the shots that you can hide in something. She said, why don't you get one of those? It'll make you feel better. And I've drank before, but I know better than drink on the job. But I was going through a hard time, so I was like, fuck it. What else could possibly happen? You know, so I did it. And after we drank it that day, and which she apparently did it all the time, but I didn't pay attention to it. We threw it in this little lake that was in their parking lot that's small too because it's a small business. We threw the bottles in there, and when we threw them in there, I realized it was about 30 more in there. Like, this is not the only time that this has happened, and that a lot of them are doing that. And so it was the culture of the place, so I said, okay, whatever. So time went on, and, you know, a lot of stuff for me went on that first year of marriage. And I probably drink the most that I've drank in my life that first year that I was married. So it just continued, and it was never to the point where I was at work slumped over, couldn't move and stuff. I could always do my job. They never had to send me to the clinic. I never shipped out a bad part. Nobody ever got hurt on my watch. None of these things ever happened. I was always coherent. And then what probably made me an even worse of a worker or a team lead is that I was doing it too, and I knew they were doing it. But as long as we got our work done at that point in time, life, I didn't care. I didn't, because I didn't see life getting better, and it was just a job. I had to have fun somewhere. That's how I felt. Not knowing that that's not what that was. That was something creeping me down into a deeper hole with other issues, adding on top of the problems that I already had. So that lake just represented what I thought was, it was filled with what I thought was bringing me joy, which was the alcohol. I thought that was helping to make things better. It wasn't. It was surrounded by people in pain. People that are happy don't sit around and drink at work. Don't sit around and drink bottles at work. Like, we would split maybe a half a pint between 4 or 5 of us, but we were drinking at work. It had to be something going on with all 3 of us. We all were sinking down into that hole, because to do that and do it on a consistent basis is something wrong. And I know it was something was wrong with me, and so I know it was something going on with them too. I know a little bit, but not a lot. But to be in that position, it was something. So I just thought to express that, that we all go through things, and sometimes those things lead us to addictive behavior. And because we're human, we all have it. And when I say addictive behavior, I just don't mean, the heroin or coke or alcohol or whatever. It can be overeating or hopping from bed to bed behavior that on a regular basis, if your life was happy and consistent, that you wouldn't be doing. But it's about when you realize it, grab it, get a hold of it, and let that behavior go, and rearrange and maneuver around whatever you need to get back to your safe place, where you're not dependent on something for your happiness, a substance or a specific action to have to consistently do it for you to be happy. I had to let go of that job. I didn't let go of that job. I found more money. I had to let go of those behaviors, because the ability to do that at the job, it didn't follow with me, but I could still do it when I got home. So I had to let go of those behaviors. I had to find another way to deal with the hurt that I was going through. And eventually, me and my husband, our relationship, our things in our marriage got better and stopped adding to the stress that I already had. And so I was able to figure out other things. But that's just a little bit about that poem and my mindset and writing it and what I was thinking about. And then that was like 5-6 years ago, but it's still fresh in my memory because it was crazy. And you couldn't tell it in the wintertime, but once, when it's absolutely not funny, because it was absolutely, probably all were addicted to that. Once that lake unfroze, all those bottles started to float up to the top, I had to really think like, yeah, we might have a problem. But I mean, we all, whether we admit it or not, we get our addictive behavior to something, and sometimes it gets out of control. I grabbed it. I'm back now. And I can't say I won't ever have a bout with it again. I'll say I'll put all the effort I can forth not to. But that was definitely a different type of time in my life. But I just wanted to tell you guys about that. Look out for my next poem, my next story time. I also do like motivational chats with you guys, where you can leave a comment. And of course, I would love for you to like the video, subscribe. If you have any suggestions about what else I should be doing with my content, I would love to hear them. You guys keep your head up as always and have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next